Hey, Sean, thanks for coming on the Pizza Story podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us today at Madison Avenue Pizza in Dunedin here. We're really excited.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to talk to you. I've been, been watching your podcasts and definitely happy that you gave me a shout. I love the industry background side of your interviews, man. It's really interesting that people like me that are, in the struggle, every day to hear what other people are going through and how they build their businesses.
Yeah, I mean, I know we chatted like a little bit before the interview, and my family went through that struggle, like having a pizzeria for like 65 years. And so when I watch you guys, I'm like, you guys are so successful now and your spot's so amazing. But I know like the early beginnings is like when you guys like blood, sweat, and tears, and you give up everything to kind of accomplish this dream. And so the podcast is really about, how can we talk about you guys and like how you started and like really promote and look at the purpose of your business. So I want to hear like, your early days of your life of like, how pizza kind of like influenced you and how you were brought up.
Yeah, for sure. So I was, I was born and raised in Florida. I come from an Italian family and we spoke Italian growing up. My parents are first generation. But I'm from Florida. So, I grew up just kind of bouncing around restaurants on the beach. My parents actually owned a little breakfast restaurant, my mom and my stepdad, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And in middle school, my mom would drop me off with Patrick, and he was the cook and I was the dishwasher. And I would just kind of like help him butter toast and plate dishes. And, and so that's where I really learned like the back of the house stuff. And from there, I actually went to go work in a pizzeria, rolling dough balls and just prepping and just, the grunt work,
Yeah.
And I've done it ever since. I've worked, in front and back of the house. I actually went to Florida State and got a degree in hospitality.
Wow.
And I spent a pretty good portion of my career in South Florida working in the hotel industry.
Wow.
I worked at the Breakers and the Boca Resort down there, and I really loved it. But when my wife and we have twin boys, and when they were first born, twins are a lot.
Yeah.
They're a lot. It was a lot. And so we needed help. So we weren't totally in love with our jobs.
Yeah.
I wasn't totally in love with South Florida with the family and everything. It just was different.
Yeah.
So my mom was retired and I had a lot of support up here. And so we sold our house and we quit our jobs and we just moved up here with the goal of opening up a restaurant and starting our family up here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really terrifying. The kids were just a few months old at the time. They were like maybe 6 months old.
Oh my gosh. I love that you have this like whole history of working in a restaurant since a kid. That's like the same with me, like folded boxes when I was 8 and then like, saucing and cheesing pizzas and making dough. And it's like having this experience of just being in every single job in a restaurant before owning a restaurant. So you guys get to Florida and you have your twin boys, and tell me about these like early days. Okay, we want to open a pizzeria. Like what's happening at this time?
Well, yeah. So before we even moved here, I was like, I want to open up a pizzeria.
Yeah.
I love Italian food. I love pizza. I, worked in the industry. So, we're doing tons and tons of research on what we wanted our pizzeria to be, what we wanted it to feel like when customers walked in the door. But we didn't really have like a lot of answers. We were just kind of winging it. So we actually moved in with my dad because we didn't want to move it. We didn't want a lot of overhead initially because we were basically going to put every dollar we had into this restaurant. So we moved in with my dad. We were working with a business broker, looking at locations. We found this beautiful build out. A husband and wife had basically built the original restaurant and never opened it.
Wow.
She had some health issues, and it's basically a very basic, very simple pizzeria build out that wasn't super expensive because it was, there was no sales.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought that, opened the doors, and just, fought for our lives for a couple of years while we tried to figure it out. I'd worked in the restaurant industry literally my whole life. but owning a restaurant and working a restaurant are very different.
Yeah.
You know, I just never really understood, you know, what other people were going through when they were owning.
Business side.
Yeah, the business side of it. You know, it's very, very different when you have, you know, insurance and taxes and the city. And
It's rough, right?
yeah, everybody, you know, I'm getting pulled in 50 million directions every day. Now I'm used to it, but back then it was a lot. You know, and there's no rule book. It's not like when when we closed on the original build out, you know, it's not like they give you an instruction manual on what to do. You just have to figure out, okay, I need to get a license from the city. I need to register with the state. I need to do this. I need to do that. So we're just trying to figure it out. So, so we did. We basically opened the place by the skin of our teeth. We put our last dollar into getting the doors open and get some food in the coolers.
Wow.
And then, you know, the first couple years were a lot, you know.
Yeah.
We had no brand. We had nothing. So we just tried to, you know, market and get the word out. And, you know, I would drive by the ATM on my way home at night and put the cash in from the night before, you know, to try and, you know, pay the bills the next day.
Yeah.
And it was like, we really, you know, we had no like investors. We had no capital behind us. It was just whatever we had in our savings account from the move up here, and then whatever we could make, you know, in the meantime.
Wow. So tell me about the evolution of going from that to what you have now.
Well, just, you know, we just tried to figure it out. I mean, we just, you know, obviously Jackie's a teacher, so she, you know, isn't here every day cooking like, you know, like I am. But, you know, we both kind of worked to kind of create this vision. We wanted a Florida pizzeria.
Yeah.
You know, I'm from Florida. I love Italian food and, you know, I love, you know, Northeast culture, but, you know, I'm from Florida. So we wanted to play reggae music and classic rock, and we wanted a bright open dining room. And you know, we're right by the beach. For, you know, people that might be watching don't know where this is, like the beach is literally directly behind us. So, you know, the beach and the ocean and everything are really part of you know, who we are. So so we always try to you know, kind of keep that in mind. You know, we've kind of pushed the limits with, you know, our menu and specials, and we have, you know, periodic boat delivery and, you know, a lot of different stuff that have gotten us a lot of attention. You know, where we are in this plaza and where we are in Dunedin, we're not like in downtown. So if I wanted people to eat here, I have to bring them. So right from the very start, I was just grinding it out on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, you know, just grinding and posting and trying to come up with content, come up with specials, and, you know, get the word out. And once that kind of started going, it really started going fast. And by year 2 and year 3, we were really, you know, getting a lot of traction.
Well, yeah, and you got so much attention that Dave Portnoy came in and gave you guys a really good pizza review. Yeah,
Dave Portnoy's been here. We've had a lot of competitive eaters, a lot of people from you know, Instagram and a lot of social media influencers. You know, we've I mean, now 8 years later, I look back and I'm like, what is it? Where did this even come from?
Does it feel like a dream?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You know, sometimes on a Friday night, I'll stand by the front door and just, you know, just look in awe at the dining room, because, you know, our original dining room was very, very simple. It was 5 booths.
Yeah.
It was like a plywood counter.
Yeah.
You know, it was, you know, we had a single deck, tiny little pizza oven that fit 2 18s and 2 14s, if we're lucky. You know, and we just, you know, we were doing nothing. Like, I mean, we had no sales. And now, you know, on a Friday night, you know, the whole place is packed.
Yeah.
It's vibing, and there's so much energy. You know, you have to turn the music up, because otherwise, you know, it's just, it gets crazy. You know.
I've been in here before on a weekend, and it is crazy.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really humbling. I mean, to say the least. I don't even know if that's a strong enough word. Like, it's overwhelming to see the response from the community and how well, you know, the restaurants turned out.
Yeah, the support.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's insane. I would have never, ever, I mean, if 8 years ago you would have said, like, this is where this is headed, I would have like, crazy. Like, you know?
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. So let's talk about your menu.
Yeah, definitely. We're like 95% made in house.
All right.
I really, 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 really believe in scratch cooking. I
Yeah.
believe in using the best ingredients that I can source. And, you know, saying the best is like subjective, you know, but we do, you know, use high quality tomatoes and cheese and, you know, olive oil and everything like that, flour. So, yeah, it's just part of our you know, our you know, motto since the very beginning, you know. So we make almost everything. We bake our bread every morning.
Yeah.
We hand cut our French fries, our ranch, our blue cheese, our, you know, obviously anything related to pizza, dough and sauce and all that, you know, meatballs. You know, I got a great prep guy that comes in every morning and he preps up the whole kitchen. And then at night we go through it all. And then the next day we start again. So we don't really have much of a freezer. We definitely don't have a microwave or anything like that.
Yeah.
We just, yeah, we work from fresh basically every day.
That's so good. So what's your best-selling pizza?
Probably just, I mean, really just the simple stuff. Like
Yeah.
we sell, you know, we sell a lot of just, you know, we make a hand-tossed New York style. We make a Sicilian. We make a, I don't know, we call it like the old school pie. It's like, it's made with Neapolitan flour and it's high hydration and it cooks up really crispy in our ovens.
Okay.
And then we make a off the menu bar pie, like a New England style little
Nice.
10-inch bar pie. That's really for like our regulars know about it. It's not
Yeah.
on the menu, but you know, we sell a pretty good combination of all that.
Yeah, yeah. So you're coming in one day hungry. What are you gonna have? What's your favorite pizza?
My favorite pizza is the one I was saying earlier. We call it the old school. It's it's a high hydration. It's made with Neapolitan flour and some King Arthur. It cooks up super crispy. The sauce is like this stripped down tomato sauce. It's really, very simple.
Yeah.
Just a little oregano, some pecorino, some grana, and then some fresh basil. And it's just basic. Like I would eat that every day if I
Sounds
could
so good.
afford the calories.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. So I know we talked about, you know, your family's like a really huge part of this business. So I want to talk about the family element of the business. And like, as you know, I grew up in a family business. My grandfather worked in the coal mines. He started our business in 1960, still open today. And I loved when we were talking earlier about just, you know, how you were telling me the involvement of your family in the business.
Yeah, it's a family-owned business from start to finish. You know, obviously my wife and I are here every day. You know, my kids now that they're 8 have started to make a presence. I mean, once in a while you'll see them back folding boxes and doing what they can do to be involved. My dad is very, very involved, even though he has a 9 to 5 that has nothing to do with the restaurant industry. Every night he stops by and, you know, my dad's in sales, so he loves to talk to people. He'll just talk to all our customers and they all love him. But, you know, at the same time, he's this old school Italian guy from Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And, you know, he works from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, like not doing anything he can do. So, you know, when he's outside of his normal job, he's in here bussing tables and, you know, I'll find him in the back rearranging dry storage and, you know, breaking down boxes and just all this stuff. And, you know, I love the guy. You know, sometimes I'll be like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, these, you know, I have staff that can do some of that stuff, but he can't stop. Like he just, you know, he has that old school work ethic. He has that old school mentality and he just, he's unbelievable. I mean, really, if I could be 10% of, you know, what he is, you know, I would consider myself successful for sure.
Yeah, my dad's the same. Like he doesn't have to work, but he still works. Like he was a superintendent of schools and he still like works in like interim jobs and he finds superintendents and then he runs the shop the 4 days it's open. And he's like, my mom owns a jam business. So then he's running around getting stuff for the jam business. And it's like, does not stop. But it's so nice to have that, like, I don't know, there's just something about, I feel like the culture that's just like very hardworking.
100%. I mean, it definitely gives me something to try to, you know, inspire. I mean, it gives me something to aspire to for sure. I mean, you know, he's nonstop and, you know, there's never, you know, downtime. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just really, it's incredible, but that's just an old school work ethic. I mean, my my grandfathers were like that. You know, I feel like a lot of, you know, my family is mostly from Italy, you know, and I feel like that's like some old school Italian stuff, you know, where you're just grinding it out and working and working and working and working for the family. You know, the family is everything.
Yeah.
My dad, you know, and it's not only me. I mean, my dad supports my sister and her company. You know, he's running around helping her everywhere he can, and you know, that sort of like family first mentality is perfect for me. I mean, it's amazing.
I was brought up the exact same way. It's a very, very similar. So what do you see as far as the future for Madison Ave?
Oh man, I don't know. No, more space, hopefully. we need more space. We're like bursting at the seams. When we did the renovation, I thought that this would be all we would ever need, and now we're back to the original, you know, feeling of claustrophobia. I don't know. You know, we've really maxed out, I think, what we can do in this location. Not to say we would ever leave this location because it was perfect, but I don't know. Maybe, who knows? I mean, who knows what the future would bring? It'd be hard for me to speculate, but you know, we'd love to, I don't know, find maybe an additional unit down the road, or you know, find something else. We branched off into catering. I bought a fire truck. Yeah, I bought a fire truck. I put 2 Baker's Prides in the back of it.
Nice.
And we do offsite catering, and we can really cook a great pie. They're powerful ovens. Like it's not like a, you know, an uni oven. You know what I mean? They're Baker's Prides. You know, so you know, we've expanded that way to try and, you know, get out of, you know, the shop a little bit. And
you guys do events and stuff?
We do. Yeah, not so much in the summer because it's really hot to cook outside this time of year, but from November till like May, we're busy. We do a lot of events with that. We're already booking events in 26 and 27 in the spring primarily.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, just, you know, I got 2 kids at home and you know, a wife and everything, and I got to try and you know, put food on the table and generate as much revenue as I can, you know, and create opportunities for my staff and stuff as well.
Yeah, I love it. That's incredible. Yeah, it's very cool. So if somebody wants to come in, how do they find you guys? Like social media, that kind of stuff?
We're really active on Instagram and Facebook, obviously TikTok as well. But yeah, I mean, look us up. We're Madison Avenue Pizza on Instagram, you know, same on Facebook, same on TikTok. Obviously we're right here by Honeymoon Island in Dunedin, so we have a full restaurant and dining room. So
great location.
Right
by the beach.
Yeah, it's perfect. You know, you can grab a pie, go down to, I mean, Honeymoon Island's like the busiest state park in Florida, so and it's beautiful. So
and you're across the street from the bike trail.
We're across the street from the trail, a couple minutes from downtown. We looked very hard at locations when we first opened the place, and this was just perfect. I don't know if we could ever replicate this location again because it's just so centrally located to everything. Oh man, this is the best. Like, so Alex will start putting the bread up on the pizza line and I just kind of let it cool, and it just fills the whole restaurant with this smell of fresh. I mean, you know.
I know.
It's like,
my family started baking bread too. I mean, my mom was baking bread because she opened the jam company. So on Fridays she would have her homemade jam, and then her and my dad would bake bread and do bread and jam.
God.
It was so good. I'm actually gonna bring you some jam.
Great.
I was just there, but she was like, I don't want you to take it in your suitcase. I'm just gonna send you a case of it. So I was like, all right, send a case because I want to like deliver it to people for gifts.
Homemade jam and homemade bread. That's
so good. I'm gonna bring you the jam. Maybe you can try it on your bread and see if you like it. But it's delicious. Yeah.
That's like my perfect breakfast. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's like a European style type breakfast. You know? Yeah,
absolutely. But then we had the same issue that you guys did with, we had a place called La Monica's that was open like 100 years, and the father passed away. They ended up closing, and so my dad was like, I gotta bake my own bread.
Yeah.
So he started baking his own bread, but it's like, it comes out so good. And the smell and just like, and then people do come in. I mean, that's like a big cool. Like when I hear someone has homemade bread, I'm like, we're going there.
Yeah, of course. It's rare. I mean, around here, like if you're in New York or something, it'd be a lot less rare. You know, I feel like more people up there are doing stuff like that, and they have, you know, great bakeries too. But yeah, I mean, it's like so rare down here. Everybody's using Cusanos, or they're using frozen Amoroso rolls, and you know, even Cusanos, who's a big local bakery around here, you know, they deliver fresh in the morning, but it's baked in Orlando.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing like this. Like,
it already smells good.
Yeah.
I'm already getting the smell of it. This is like incredible.
Yeah, you pair that with like, I love, like, one of my favorite things to talk to people about is our meatball sandwich. If they're asking about subs,
I
just
love
because,
meatball sandwiches.
you can say like, hey, we baked this bread, we hand rolled these meatballs, we made this marinara sauce, like they're, and if you get it with our hand cut fries, like,
Oh,
like it's literally made from nothing in these four walls. So
I love that.
that's like a big part of our, I don't know, I feel like that's what's helped build the restaurant. Like, if you want to eat something that's off our menu, or if you like the flavor that's off our menu, you can only get it here.
Yeah.
Like, if you like our ranch or our blue cheese, which, are unique to us, like,
Yeah.
you can only get them here.
And you make them.
We make them. We bread our mozzarella sticks,
Wow.
everything.
That's so incredible. I love that, because like there are so many people, like they use frozen stuff or they get stuff shipped in, but the fact that you guys are just like curating everything and it's like your own original thing, it just makes you stand out and makes your place so special.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, I literally, like, I wrote it's been 8 years of writing recipes and figuring out what works, and now we have a standardized recipe book, and no matter who's the prep guy, they're following the same stuff, but they're all my recipes that that are unique to us. So it's it gives us, I feel like, a competitive advantage. Like, if you like our mozzarella sticks, you're not getting them anywhere else.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, we knew you guys so much for pizza, because like I always watch the Dave Portnoy reviews, and I was like, oh, Madison Ave. I was like, that's like right up the street. So we came in here, we had pizza, and we loved it. I was like, your pizza's amazing. But like talking to you now, it's like you guys have so much of a more of an offering on your menu.
We try to.
Cool.
I try not to go too overboard with
Yeah.
it, because like we can only prep and store so much. Like,
Yeah.
like you said, man, I've worked in a lot of restaurants, and so many restaurants just, they would just buy their eggplant, or they just buy their frozen chicken tenders, or French fries, or we buy Ken's Ranch and blue cheese, like no big deal, or mozzarella sticks. But I just, I don't know, I just never, I wanted to make everything. I like to push myself sometimes too much, maybe, I don't know if there's a limit to where, we gotta just stop where we're at, but but I always try and look for, if even today, if you're here to find out something could be made better or differently, and it would improve the experience, I'd tear it all down and build the recipe again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the constant creation of having something that you love and just wanting to make it better and better, and that's such a positive thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we our goal is to just have the best product available, and not to say like, I feel like everybody gets in these competitions where, or everybody wants to put us in a competition with like our competitors, like, oh, who's the best pizza? Like Nona's is the best, or, Santoro's or Boston. Like, I'm not trying to like be the best where, where everybody else is going out of business, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or we're pulling sales away, or we're like, I'm not trying to degrade anybody. I just want to have like a really good product that we're, the best that we can produce, Well,
the pizza community too, like I've seen, like you guys all support each other, which I absolutely love. And it's like, there's definitely enough pizza to go around for like this is such a populated area, and these places are full to the point where I feel like sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, like, could we take more people in here? So it's a good thing. I mean, because we've been to Christina's, we've been to Nona's, we've been over here. Like, he doesn't want it to get too big yet because they're just like kind of new.
Yeah.
But it's just like he makes like a New York pizza. But anyway, but like
really?
we've been like all around here, and it's like these places are packed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like I said, I've worked in so many different restaurants, not just pizza.
Yeah.
Worked in hotels and everything. But the thing that I love the best about the pizza community is it's its own thing. It's different than any other restaurant. With, people that make pizza, people that are in the business, are just different. They're different types of cooks. A lot of them are creators, they like to create, they love the industry, they love the craft. And it's not, I fucking love Jamie and Joey at Nona, you know what I mean? And Dan at Violet Stone, like, you know what I mean? Like, all those guys, like, I don't know. I mean, they come in here, I go over there. Totally. I was at Nona the other day borrowing some chemicals on a weekend that I needed, for our dish machine, like, and vice versa. It's, I've never looked at anybody that has a pizzeria around here as like a competitor.
Yeah.
ever, and because, I'm just doing my own thing. Like
Yeah.
if people like my food and they want to come in here and eat it, that's cool. If not, that's cool. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to obviously I like winning Best of the Bay every year, you know what I mean? And I definitely go out of my way to try and do that. But but
it's friendly competition.
Yeah, it's not to be like, oh, well, we're Best of the Bay and Nona, you suck, you know what I mean? Or Santoros who suck, because I'm happy to see them do well too, man. You know what I mean? Like, I heard Jamie just opened up a place in New York. Like,
wow,
dude, what a freaking dream, dude. Like, I wish I could do something like that. You know what I mean? Like, what a dream, Yeah,
it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
that's how, so where my family's place is, it's in the East End of Wimber. East End of Wimber is all Italians. So you have Mimos, you have Rizzos, you have Diarcs. And so I was just home, and I literally went with my family to Rizzo's. We had pasta at Rizzo's. I was, of course, at my parents' pizza place. And then my sister and I went down to Mimo's, and we had an Italian sub.
Yeah.
And Leone, they've been open 150 years. They do subs. So we're going to go to Leone's and get a sub. So it was there's no, there's all love for all places.
100%, man. Yeah. And that's like I said, man, I feel like that's one of the coolest parts about the pizza industry is that I feel like the people that are really in it, not like the guy on Clearwater Beach that's just selling slices at tourists and just trying to make as much money as he can. The people that are really in it for the love of the industry, everybody just wants to see the industry do better. You know what I mean? It's not about your personal gains.
Yeah. It's an amazing industry. It's a welcoming industry. It's every guest that I've had on the show, I'm like, that person is just an amazing person. Above and beyond the fact that they run this really cool pizzeria, they're just a very good person.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's I think the pizza industry attracts people like that. I really do. I think that it's a lot of creators, you know what I mean? I feel like line cooks are cooks, in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? But I feel like pizza guys, even non-managers, are still they have leadership qualities, they have artisanal qualities, they're creators, they want to create art in their food.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, because I even told my husband, I said, doing the podcast and being in this industry makes me like people again, because I was in marketing for 20 years.
Oh, damn.
And marketing is a very cutthroat industry.
Yeah.
And so it was I was to the point where I was I went to him one day and I was I can't do this anymore. I was I just can't. I was I have to do something with purpose. And then that's when I was I wrote the book. And then I was I'm starting a podcast and I'm interviewing family-owned pizzas. That's what I'm doing.
No, it's such a good concept. When I ran across your podcast, I was like, wow, it's just so interesting. I feel like I said, I feel like people are looking for this kind of content. The pizza industry for the past decade or a little more has been just blowing up.
Yeah.
It's just over and over and over again. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And, now there's, Dave Portnoy started it. And now there's a million of these pizza reviewer guys everywhere. And it's just blowing up. And, people are looking for, the people that you're interviewing.
Yeah.
I know I'm looking for them, I
am too.
Customers are,
I saw the reviews because I watched all of Dave Portnoy's reviews and I was I really want to know more about the pizzerias and the families and the struggle and the story. Every person has their own story.
Yeah. Yeah. It's he, he's only here for 15 minutes and, we talk and everything, but it's not nobody's listening to my story, during his review, and it's cool because he's bringing a lot of, what he did for this restaurant, I couldn't pay for, you know what I mean? He brought so much business that, and attention that I couldn't even value it. But it's cool to hear more about, those restaurants, you know what I mean? Because I feel like he finds all these restaurants, but he's not, he just kind of he's just there for a second, but to actually listen to the owner talk and hear what's going on behind the scenes. And I just listened to your Chipola Rosa
I love him
interview.
He's great.
I've heard of that guy and I've followed him on Facebook, but I didn't really realize he worked in New York and he had all this dining background, and that's so cool.
And when I interviewed him, it was so interesting because this guy has had this pizza truck or this pizza trailer, and he's out in the baking sun busting his ass for years, and he just finally opened his truck and has a permanent location. And so like to see that is like really cool. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Or like, you know, Chef Laura from the Pizzeria de Laura in Berkeley.
Yeah.
Like she just opened like a market, and like they're just to see like the expansion of these people. Or like Rob Cervoni, he just opened up his second location. So it's cool to watch that, you know?
Yeah, I listened to his story too. It's just really, what was it? He owned like an ice cream shop, and then
Yeah.
that wasn't working. But I mean, it's interesting to hear, like, you know, because I look at Rob as like a huge success story.
Oh, yeah.
He is massive, but you know, it's like, it's interesting to hear like how he got there. Like, you know, you look at a guy and you're like, oh my God, you're like a pizza
Chop
guy.
winner.
Yeah, you're the man. But you know, at one point he was just a guy that owned an ice cream shop, like trying to figure it out. Like, it's so cool to hear that the middle story there, you know.
We were brand new, and I think I DM'd him on Instagram. Like I didn't know like all of this stuff about him, but I was like, will you be on the podcast? And he was like, yes. And I was literally like, are you sure? Because it was like my second or third one. And I was like, he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, cool. Like most of you guys too, it's like, I'm so honored that you're on the podcast. So.
Well, I guess it just goes back to the pizza industry. I think, you know, it's cool to see people get successful, and I think that everybody wants to be successful.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have to pay our bills, but I think a lot of people that are really doing this, you know, type of work, you know, in the pizza industry are doing it just for the love of the industry, you know, in addition to paying the bills.
Yeah, like it just lifts each other up.
Yeah.
That's like the goal, is like I want to like lift up your business, and like anyone I interview, I want to promote them as much as I can. So then I feel like when I ask for a podcast like person, they're like, yes, it's like, because they will then lift me up, which is so nice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's good for everybody, really.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah.